Radio. Well, let's do something a bit more. Well, I don't know what to even call this. This is one of those segments where I don't really know what I'm doing, but we'll find out because I just kept seeing clips and wanted to talk about it. And it's those goggles, those damn goggles that everyone's wearing. At least
Is everyone wearing them? I've not seen anyone wearing them.
Well, the tech bros, because what are they? $4,500? Something stupid.
They are quite expensive. Yeah.
Oh, is this the Apple thing?
People who don't know what I'm talking about, just real quick. That's it. These are the Apple Vision goggles.
Right, the goon goggles. Yeah.
Look kind of silly, pretty goofy. But before we get into that, I have an announcement to make, which is, as we previously made, Calvin's on side now. He's with us, and he's starting a crusade. So if you'd like to join the crusade, you get your suit of armor, your sword, and you type in your credit card information to lotusears.com, and then, yeah.
Well, it
enjoy the show.
It begins like that, but it ends with taking the Holy Land. That's all we're saying.
Well, it's not a financial promise, but it's a goal.
This is not theological advice.
Yeah, there might not be promises kept, promises made on that one, but anyway, but you can come and join, and if you sign up to Gold Tier, you get to send in video comments, and it's 50% off using code Crusade for the first 3 months. And if you want to send it to him, make sure you're specific that you're sending to him in the video you're sending. So, start it with the Holy Father, I have sinned, or whatever you please. But anyway, back to the goggles, because the goggle-eyed freaks are at it again. And as you can see, this looked pretty goofy. These are some fellows eating their dinner in a Chinese restaurant, and they didn't take them off. They kept them on for the whole time, because it's augmented reality. So it's not that it's making up the world, but it adds screens in front of what you can see anyway.
We covered this in the last Cyberpunk Dystopia.
I know, that's why I wanted to do it, because I knew you'd have some thoughts for sure. And this goes on quite a bit. I mean, it is very goofy, to say the least. I mean, look at these chaps.
You know what this is? This is like peak techno-Rousseauianism. It's like the ultimate form of solipsism. You expect everyone around you to accommodate you because you're basically blind and have whatever projected onto the actual real world. Meanwhile, you feel you have no obligation or social considerations to people around you.
Yeah.
You're getting everything you want with zero social consequences, as far as you're concerned.
Zero social interactions.
I don't think it's like that at all, because they're not costing anyone anything else, and they're not blind either. You can see everything.
If everyone starts doing this, civilization has a cost.
Well, here's the thing, because there's a way of looking at this, and I was thinking about it over lunch, is that you see it already. I mean, we had it especially when we were teenagers, and you just look at your phone, you're typing while walking, or watching stuff, or the headphones on all the time. That's a change. That didn't exist in the 90s, and it exists now. And this just seems to be the logical conclusion of that, because these things can't do anything that your phone can't. It's just that the screens are in front of you in virtual reality. So, I don't know. I mean, this won't be...
embarrassing, though, isn't it?
It is kind of cringe, don't get me wrong, and this won't be the ultimate change. Well, that's what you're seeing. But I suppose an old man looking at a guy using a smartphone would see it stupid as well. Well,
yeah.
We'll get to that opinion later. But
it is.
You
Stop
are right.
Walking around on your goddamn phone.
It is goofy as heck. I mean, this is a guy on the subway. And of course, when there's just one of you doing it, it does look really weird. But, I mean, if everyone on that train was doing it, if they're on their phones, for example.
Then if everyone was on the train in these goggles, I would definitely say that something has gone wrong with civilization.
But I imagine you see it the same way with everyone on their smartphones.
Yeah, it's pretty similar.
Because that's all I'm looking at this as. Because people think that it's a massive change. I really don't think it's that big of a change. We're already in that kind of hellscape. It's just that this looks a bit more hellscape because it's on your face. But anyway, they're not the only ones. I mean, this guy's getting in his fighting technique.
So Jonathan Pye.
Maybe. He's very happy to tell you that you can learn to fight while using the goggles.
Finally got into Westminster.
I don't know why he's wearing it like in between your sessions in the office, because he's wearing a full suit as well. Decided he'd do some workouts, but
it's a civil servant defeating white supremacy.
God.
There is a certain kind of human being that is going to be way more
Tommy
insufferable.
Robinson.
I guarantee you're right. Yeah,
but there's most people, if they did this, if the price came down, because it's $3,500, if this became $500, for example, and it worked just as well, and the way technology goes, I imagine that's going to be the case in 5 years or so. A lot of people would get this, I reckon, and then it could go down even further to be cheaper, and then you don't actually need a phone anymore. It's just on your face.
Yep.
And it's going to get smaller and more,
less intrusive. Eventually, it will just be a little chip or something you have literally attached to your face or something like that, and it'll just project something in front of your eyes that no one else will basically see.
Because we definitely are getting there at this point. Because I mean, this technology, like in this example, these guys checking it out, it does physically work. And but there is some people are going to be way worse for sure. Influencers, they're just cancerous human beings on the best of days.
Yeah,
and they walk around with their cameras, live streaming as they do whatever for attention.
They walk into a shop and break one of the TVs and wonder why they get arrested.
Yeah, I mean, the people who are just chasing clicks endlessly, and they like play like racist songs in a foreign country to try and get attention. I mean, yeah, these guys are going to do what they're going to do, which is be insufferable. I think this guy, I'll even started off the audio because it just hurts.
All right, I have chat in front of me at all times.
Imagine being that dealer. Imagine being that dealer and you've got some guy talking about the chat in front of him. And you're just like, oh God.
This is the logical extension of city living and public transport, because even without your phone, if you're on public transport with a friend, you're kind of lonely in a public place because you're having possibly a private conversation with everyone in earshot, and everyone just has to accommodate you by pretending they just can't hear you. So this is the same thing. This is just ratcheting up that logic.
So there's an aspect of that I think already exists that's even worse, which there is an ethnic line to it, if we're honest, which is Arabs.
Yeah.
Hello, Arabs.
Oh my God, get off your phone.
Yeah, you haven't invented earphones in the subcontinent. I don't want to hear your Greedo language.
Well, you're calling your loved ones. It's usually the mum. That's, I love family values. That's great. But for the love of Christ, the phone goes, just go on the phone, put the earphones in. You don't have to have your mother on speakerphone whilst FaceTiming her. And, as someone who dated an Arab, that's definitely an Arab thing. And I've noticed it a lot, and I'm not the only one. But anyway, public service announcements over. There is some other people, of course, as I mentioned, influencers. I hate that word, but I think there is a correct usage of it.
Yeah, I think this sort of person is an influencer.
Well, there's another one, of course, because I mentioned pranks. Some guy decided to watch porn on speaker.
This is why I called it the goon goggles.
For
Be permanently plugged into the gooniverse.
But not everyone has to do that, of course. There's this guy who just does work.
Thank God. No, hang on, go back a second. Thank God that woman's just come out. No, knock this off.
Oh, he's playing it out loud as well. Like, it's for attention. It's for a video. The same way that you go into a Walmart and give someone fake. You give them the free phone and then they get arrested as they leave. Because it wasn't free, you just took it off the rack. That sort of annoying people. But they'll be annoying all the time anyway. This guy is a bit delusional. He walks into a coffee shop and is doing a review of the goggles and says that no one was looking at him, so it's pretty cool how nobody notices it. And it's like, no, it's definitely noticed.
Doesn't even notice. It's just like, you're a pervert. You're a sick freak. It doesn't matter if no one notices.
What?
Like if you're watching something weird in public, basically.
Oh, he's not.
Oh, right. That's why I thought you were going from the.
No, just the last guy is being an annoying freak.
Oh, because when you said it, nobody, it's kind of cool because no one notices. Like, that's what I thought you meant. Okay.
He was just talking about the goggles in general.
Right, okay.
But there is a joke going around that the people who hate it, of course, are just going to assume that these people are watching pornography all the time to try and demonize it. But I don't know. I don't think that's going to work. It's just, honestly, I would be more on your side when we did that cyberpunk thing and that mindset.
Yeah.
But the more I think about it, it's just the march of time, and
it
might be horrible. You might take that view, but
you can't stop it. Just don't wear it.
I mean, I'm just obsessed with the aesthetics of the thing. I mean, if you were going to morph into a literal bug man, it wouldn't be very much further than this.
Yeah.
Like you've actually got now like bug eyes on the front of your face.
Terrible design for sure. I did actually prefer Google Glass because at least it looks kind of techie.
Yeah. It looks Matrixy or something. No. You look like you're morphing into a literal bug. Just so you know.
So I mean, this one's a particularly funny one where he's just walking down the street, but that bug man thing, it's like the weirdest ski goggles.
Yeah.
But there we are. That's how it looks for people who aren't using it, right? And yeah, that criticism's fine. It's true. Looks strange, for sure. But then I thought, would I like this? So I thought I'd go and check it out and see what can you get exactly.
You're going to buy one.
Well, I'm not going to buy it, obviously, because it's $3,500. But if the price point changes, and it probably will in the next 5 years to being $500 instead, that's an easier deal for hey,
do
why
the
not?
podcast with one eye.
Hey, you could. I mean, but everyone at home would be wearing them as well because that's how the world goes. So this is the case for them, I suppose, which is this guy here. He's doing his workout, and you can set up screens. So this is his viewpoint wherever you like of whatever you want to. It's kind of like being in Gmod back in the day, which is I don't know how that became relevant again, but there we are. So you can continue watching. Okay, what is he watching there?
Subway Surfers, isn't it?
He's just watching Subway Surfers. Someone plays Subway Surfers. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he's imagining that he's running on the treadmill like a subway. This is what I'm saying. It's juvenile. Don't do it.
I think you could do better things with what to watch. But
more importantly, I think actually not being constantly stimulated is good for your brain. And this constant stimulation makes you a dopamine addict who can't go any amount of time in your own,
Terribly sorry.
just
Didn't
in
know
your
about
own
it.
thoughts and in your own head. Like this is an escape from having to think about things. That's the problem with this.
Well, that's the problem with modern society already. It's not even
Yeah.
new.
Yeah,
Which-
absolutely. But this, I mean, at least.
But
with
how do you
your phone-
interact with that? You know, because
But at least, no, at least with your phone, at least you have to physically do something. Like this is just it's just in front of my eyes all the time.
Also, like constant screen overexposure. Hello, it does burn your eyes out, so that's going to be an even worse problem.
So I don't know about that because the way the screen works on this is really weird. Like it's not normal technology for sure, but maybe absolutely if it does. But the idea that this would be the thing that destroys the ability to sit and watch a movie, I think that's gone. I don't think the phone and this are that really different in that regard.
Yeah,
But then you don't have to do it. Just like it's better to unplug than adopt. Continually adopt.
Sure, and like we could take this position, like us three could opt out of the Matrix, but what's going to happen to the most of humanity?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're still gonna be addicted to the cool.
Because I mean, have you ever checked out? I mean, I'm sure you get shorts, right? And there's like a movie clip on half of the screen, and the other half of the screen is Subway Surfer or someone playing GTA and falling down a.
I can't watch
It's
this
just-
30-second movie clip without some sort of autistic lights flashing in my face. You just don't understand, Callum.
Yeah, but that's what works.
Is that a thing?
So
Yeah, no, it is
Huge thing. if you ever check out Shorts or Facebook Shorts or whatever, I mean, there are guys who made Twitter videos telling you how to make money doing it. So a bunch of people jumped on as well doing that. Because if you make them, people watch them, and you'll end up with 1 million views per short, and you'll end up with a few $100 extra per month. And it's like, okay, that's it's kind of like making spam ads, but
Yep.
you know, that's the world.
I'm just saying, when the Luddite revolution comes, I'll be leading it.
But would you want to watch YouTube videos or watch music or listen to Jordan Peterson or whatever on a screen whilst running on a treadmill, rather than CNN, which the
Yeah, but I can
gym
do that. I've
supplies?
got headphones. I can put my headphones in.
Yeah, so this is just the logical extension of that.
Yeah.
I don't have to see it all the time. That's part of the.
I think
I'm
there is
actually
something
in touch
more
with the
to
real
this,
world.
yeah.
Yeah.
There is something more to this, but you are right. It is a logical extension of what already
But you
exists.
can see it perfectly in that snapshot actually, which is of course in the 90s you'd look at the TV while running, and in this case the guy's just got his own TV.
Yeah.
And we'll cover that up.
Yeah, yeah.
Sadly with Subway Surfer in this case, but to each their own. There is a guy here showing off what it can do, and this is kind of interesting. So I'll play this.
Big screen TV set up on my wall. Gordon Ramsay showing me how to cook above the stove. Notes right here for some groceries. Can walk around freely. Here's what it looks like when it's on.
Yeah, goofy.
Bugman.
Here's
Hey,
Lucy.
how's it going?
Oh, hey, catch.
Thank you. And as we walk around the house, everything stays pinned exactly where we left it. And that's it. Let me know if you have
like a
questions.
miracle.
You get home from your long day at work. Hello, family, and you've got that on, and your kids have all got one on, and your dog's got one on. No.
Well, they don't have kids,
Yeah.
obviously.
Well, yeah, they're dinks. Yeah.
Well, as mentioned, times are going to change. That's the $3,500 prototype version, proof of concept. And when it's $500 and doesn't look like that, it's going to be a different world. But I mean, there's definitely an advantage there. You don't need to buy a TV ever, because
Yeah,
you
but
can have one that's 4K wherever you want and then multiple.
there's something so solipsistic about this.
Yes.
It's like I'm the very center of the universe. Because I mean, like with the point with the TV, okay, you'd be like, okay, well, it's TV's bad for your eyes, sure, but at least there's a shared experience there, right? Everyone in the room has to watch the same thing. They have to listen to the same thing. They've all gone through the same thing, and at least have a point of reference that each one recognizes. No. This is just me. You've no idea what's on my goggles. Blah blah blah. Why would I bother interacting with anything outside of the goggles? Eventually, it'll just become there's just no need. I've got
Well,
so much stimulation coming into me.
Obviously,
I
you
don't
can
need
share
it.
it. Like him and his wife could sit and watch the same thing. It's going to be.
They could, but it's going to be something they have to opt into. Right? The thing about television is you didn't have a choice. Like,
Well,
what
that's
was on
gone.
the TV was on the TV. I know that's gone.
Yeah, but like
I'm
this
not
is-
saying
this
that's a
is-
good thing though.
Yeah, but this is what I find great, and it is a great example of why I think this isn't just a fad. Because Simpsons, for example, we all know early Simpsons. We all love early Simpsons. We've all got the memes and everything else. What modern show has that power? Well, nothing, because that was the perfect time of television dominance, and then the perfect show for that era. And no one below us has any kind of the same reference. They'll have some shows they've watched together, but nothing like that. And it's this argument, the one you're laying out. I can see the truth in it. Don't get me wrong. But I remember when you were reading to me Peter Hitchens complaining about central heating
He's not wrong.
Because all of a sudden the whole family do not sit in the same room and have
wrong.
shared experiences. They're in their own rooms instead, just working on the radios.
Logical conclusion is this.
Yeah, if you want running water or central heating, I mean, it does end up like this.
Go back to Wattle and Daub.
You
Sorry to interrupt the video, but I just want to let you know that we have a brand new selection of merch on our merch store. These won't be in store forever, so if you do want them, go and get them now. Thanks very much.
You are going to end up a bit ANCAP, so not ANCAP, what's the ANPRIM, if you keep going down that. Now, it's hard to tell what's real and what's people taking the piss, so forgive me if this is wrong, but I saw someone showing off what they believe to be night vision, because it maps the space in front of you, so you don't actually need to be able to see in the dark anymore, because the goggles just do it for you.
Does it map the mugger?
Presumably, yes.
It changes his face to more Caucasian complexion.
If Apple get their way.
Well, I was going to say, this is also the concern about solipsism. Anyone can get like a mod for this.
Yeah.
So what's the moral argument to stop someone walking down the street with like a nudity mod, basically, on this? Because it's like, well, you can't see it. It's not harming you. It's making you a bubble of moral inconsiderateness.
I mean, there are people who probably walk around thinking about what everyone looks like naked right now.
Yeah,
so
they're awful to do that. But
they'll be the people installing the mod just to live their dreams.
Yeah.
And they're horrible people. I don't think we should. I don't think it's good that the technology exists to facilitate that. You can't stop it. I understand, but it's just like that's bad.
It's just the world moving to. So there's this guy who decided to get Elon Musk vision that he's celebrating here. He's sitting in his Tesla, and he actually tweeted at Elon, and Elon retweeted this, being like, "Oh, it's fantastic." It's him scrolling through Twitter, of course, in his Tesla, and there is something about it that's just like, oh god, could you imagine if all the technology was owned by the same guy or company? The horrors you could inflict. So there's that.
There's just too much stuff.
There's also
not paying attention to any of it.
There's also toilet vision, of course, because
that'd be great for you, Carl.
Yeah.
People go to the toilet with their phones. This is normal. Now you can take a poop wherever you like. You can make that you're on a mountain.
Isn't this a Rick and Morty episode?
Yeah. And now it's reality. So this guy decided he doesn't go to the toilet where he lives. Instead,
Redditor.
He breathes in the sweet air, but they can't mod that. But he can smell, he can see the sweet air.
Use the loo right next to the Ganges, and it'll feel really authentic.
Imagine that as a mod. There we are. So that's
billion Indians have installed it from America.
There's also some arguments about how maybe this is a good thing. Maybe talking to women will be better than ever because you won't have to look at them. So there's that side of the people using it. They'd rather look at their spreadsheets or Andrew Tate quotes. So there we are. That's a thing. And then there's just a guy who's made a big list of stuff that I don't have time for, but it's, viewing homes. So if you want to move house, you want to view what the other home looks like, you can do it. So that's an option. AI companions, less interested in that.
Hang on,
for sure.
Hang on.
That's
go back to the AI companion.
The
Lonely
fish.
millennial women mod.
No. Talking to women. Why would I bother? Why would anyone bother talking to another human being when I've got constant, non-stop interactive feedback from someone who actually is programmed to be the thing I want them to be?
It's Blade Runner 2049.
I haven't seen it.
So that I'm less worried about because I really don't think there's a replacement. I don't think it actually will ever be good enough to do that.
It will for the dysgenics that can't talk to women.
And then you get the sort of replicate AI where it's like nude women. Yeah. It'll completely replace social interaction.
I do wonder if you're a dysgenic who can't talk to women anyway, what's the difference?
Don't be a dysgenic. Yeah.
I'm not saying you should. I'm saying if they're not going to talk to women anyway.
But then there's
I don't know what their life changes.
There's I'm never going to reproduce. There's hello Lotus is out of context. There's guys that are going to get married and have kids and have an easier time of it. And there's people in the middle who have not a really low genetic ceiling. And if they put a bit of work in and got some confidence and got in better shape and earned some money, they'd have a nice and happy life, right?
The edge cases, yeah.
Yeah, those edge cases are going to follow incentives and fall into the dysgenic high robo-wife category.
But also the edge cases will draw the center more narrow as well.
You could also just learn to play the piano, which I think is quite cool.
Believe it or not, there are ways of learning to play the piano that don't require this.
No, but it helps because as you can see, like the point is just what are the advantages. And
I'm not saying that this doesn't help, but the thing is, part of, and I know this because I'm literally teaching my son to play piano. I don't play piano; he does. Part of the skill that you learn is overcoming the difficulties, right? And so, if you've got this instruction in front of you, well, are you actually learning it, or are you just kind of programming yourself? You haven't got the ability to actually manipulate the skill.
Is this not similar to, wasn't it Plato whining that people read books instead of learning them orally anymore?
It's kind of true,
Honestly,
though.
it's true.
I don't think he's wrong.
Yeah.
It's obviously a correct statement. Learning everything orally means you've got a better knowledge of the thing, but that's really bloody hard.
Yeah.
And who's
But
got
the
time?
difficulty is where the genius comes out.
Yeah.
But why don't you learn everything orally then? Because it's not really actually.
Well, a lot of things I
possible.
do. I listen to lectures and listen to audiobooks.
You read. I've seen you reading books.
Yeah, I know, because some things I can't. Some things I can't get on audiobook.
I've seen you watching
have to
videos.
read.
In fact, you.
Yeah, but videos are fine because that's oral.
Well, there's another example here. This I think we're already actually in. So this is translations. So real world
Yeah,
translations.
that's fair enough. But
That's
again,
actually
you should learn the language.
no. This
English.
this
God's
is
language.
Yeah. There you go.
coming here, of course. But if you're going abroad, it already is the case. The best
That
thing
they
you can
speak
actually
English.
do is pull out Google Translate. And I've had this myself. The feature to speak into it offline and have it perfectly translate for the person you're talking to. It is good enough for all European languages, at least at this point. The Asians may be more hard, but there we
It's
are.
pretty decent for Japanese.
Yeah, well, there we go. Keeps going. I mean, some drawing and whatever, and who gives a crap. The cooking one I find a bit cringe. It's just like, I don't know.
What's the problem?
I just have a passion about bad cooking. That's all.
What do you mean a passion about bad cooking?
Oh, doing it where you a pinch of this, a pinch of that, blah, 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 and then it turns out crap because I'm bad at cooking. But anyway,
That's how I do it, and it always turns out great.
well, I learned one.
Oh, this I hate with a dying passion.
This I thought was just stupid.
Gamification,
yeah.
tidying up of your apartment.
Basically, you have zero conscientiousness and no ability to defer gratification. And so you need to turn life into a bloody video game with a heads-up display just to vacuum your own apartment. Yeah. That's pathetic.
Well, also, I mean, this particular mod, I think this is actually fake. I don't think this is actually real because you'll see in a minute. I don't think this actually works, obviously, because he's missing parts, for starters. And then I think there's another version down here, or maybe it's not. But there was another version where someone mapped it with green, and you hoover up the green, and it just shows you which parts you missed. You can do that in your head. You don't need a computer for that. Come on. Like, unless you've actually got a blow to the head.
But you're not the person that watches the Subway Surfer YouTube shorts. They need that just to get out of bed in the morning.
I have a guilty conscience. I must confess something. I have, yeah.
Well, you sat there.
Doesn't
just
surprise
looking
me,
at these
I've had to block YouTube Shorts because I realized like it hooks you, and then you realize like, what am I doing in my life? So I go in and block Shorts now every day, so I don't have to see them. Because once they get you, man, they get you.
I bet. I'm not. I don't.
It's
watch-
awful. But this says some other ideas. Formula One. You want to see it in real time or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. That if you go back up to
you
Formula
want to
One,
see Formula One?
that's quite good. Having a nice little like map, top-down map, so you can see where they are on the track and stuff. I could see the appeal of that if
Yeah.
if you watch Formula One.
Messing with stuff. Some other guy messing with stuff. It goes on. There are advantages. All I'm getting at. Not everyone's happy, of course. I mean, this Christian man tried it, and he said, "I think this is actually a massive next step to the Antichrist."
Yes.
I knew you'd like that.
He's right.
And the second coming of Jesus Christ, and he's come. So, yeah,
Because he's losing a game of virtual chess.
yeah.
On the moon.
Of all the things to be upset about, chess on the moon. It's not really the worst end of this.
Yeah, but no,
technology,
so
but-
when people say technology is demonic, they mean that technology is rendering human relationships and human labor obsolete. And that is a perfect example of it. You literally don't need a relationship with anyone in the real world ever again.
But then we end up being with Peter Hitchens, which is,
Yes.
to get rid of the central heating. It's destroying the family.
I'm listening.
Which,
Yeah, I'm open to it.
hey, look, Plato's right about the reading books. It's bad for you,
Great
but
point.
it's just
What's proof of your
ridiculous.
argument, Plato? Well, this.
it's just obviously ridiculous, and no life is ever going to continue like that. So there we are. Although the best put down out of all of this, I must say, it actually did come from an odd source. It is Andrew Tate, who came out and said, 3.5 grand for looking like an effing dork. Why? Most of you are doing it for free. So
Now sign up to Hustlers University.
so there we are. Yeah, don't know where that was going. Hopefully that's something. If not, I think it is just the case that this will become reality. As that price point goes down, it certainly seems there's enough advantages that the mass population will end up doing that instead of their phones. And as mentioned, I mean, it does seem to just be an extension of your phone. So, I don't know, live in fear or get excited if that's your future. If you appreciated that episode from the podcast The Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content that's on the site, such as the Symposium series, this episode on instructions from Ptahhotep. If you'd like to find out what else is being put out, you can follow on Twitter at lotuseaters_com on Twitter. Thank you and goodbye.